the Sicilian, the Ruy Lopez, the Queen's Gambit. You hear these names and your head starts to spin. There are literally over 1,000 named chess openings, each with endless variations you're supposed to have memorized. It's just overwhelming, right?
Yes!
As a new player, you're probably confused, maybe a little intimidated. Where do you even start? But what if I told you that you can just ignore all of that, for now at least? What if there was an opening that cuts through all the noise? One that's so simple, so solid, and so incredibly effective, it might be the only one you need to learn to start winning more games, like right now.
Hooray!
An opening that's not about memorizing theory, but about understanding a few simple, powerful ideas. Well, that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to learn that opening step by step. By the end of this video, you'll have a complete universal weapon to play as white that follows all the golden rules of chess and sets you up for success every single time. The opening we're diving into is one of the oldest and most respected in chess, the Italian game. It's been played by champions for over 400 years for one simple reason. It's perfect. It's perfect because it teaches you how to play chess the right way, drilling you on core ideas that will make you a better player for life. The Italian game kicks off with 3 dead simple moves. Move 1. Pawn to e4. This is the king of first moves. With just one pawn push, you're staking a claim right in the center of the board. And in chess, the center is everything. It's the high ground. From there, your pieces can get any part of the action fast. This move also cracks open the door for your queen and bishop to get into the game. Now, if your opponent is playing smart, they'll almost always mirror you with pawn to e5, fighting for their own piece of the action. Move 2. Knight to f3. This is probably the most natural move in all of chess. You're bringing a knight off the back rank and into the fight. And look what it's doing. It's adding another guard to the center, putting pressure on the d4 square, and it's attacking black's pawn on e5. That's a key concept. Always try to develop with a threat. Don't just move pieces around. Give your opponent a problem to solve. Black's best and most common move here is to play knight to c6. They develop, they defend the pawn, the threat is gone. The board is even. Now for the move that changes everything. Move 3 is bishop to c4. This is it. The signature move of the Italian game. The bishop is now an absolute monster. We call it the Italian bishop. From c4, it stares down the board like a laser, aimed directly at black's weakest point, the f7 pawn. That f7 square is the most vulnerable spot on the board right now because only the king defends it. This one move sets up a ton of future attacks and puts black under pressure from the word go. And just like that, with 3 simple moves, e4, knight f3, and bishop c4, we've done everything we could possibly want. We control the center, we've developed 2 pieces, we're already poking at a weak spot, and we've cleared the way for our king to castle to safety. This is your new home base. Okay, so you've got this perfect Italian setup, and you're feeling pretty good. But now what? Your opponent has to move, and this is where beginners usually start to sweat, thinking the theory is about to get crazy. But the beauty of the Italian is the plan stays simple. You're going to see one of 2 moves from black almost all the time. Let's break them down. Scenario 1. Black plays bishop to c5. This is the most popular response, leading to the Guccio piano, which is Italian for quiet game. But don't let that fool you. Your opponent is making good, solid move, developing their own bishop. But we have a simple, powerful plan to take over. Your goal is to prepare a central pawn push. You're going to play pawn to c3. This tiny pawn move is actually brilliant. It does two things. One, it prepares you to shove your d-pawn to d4 next, which will fight to completely dominate the center. And two, it creates a neat little escape hatch on c2 for your bishop if it gets attacked. After c3, your opponent will probably play knight to f6. Now you pull the trigger. Pawn to d4. You're throwing down the gauntlet for control of the center. Most of the time, black will take your pawn on d4. You just take back with your c-pawn. Now take a look at the board. You have two pawns smack in the middle of the board, controlling a huge amount of territory. Your pieces have space, your plan is clear, and you're cruising into a great middle game. Okay, now for the second scenario. Black plays knight to f6. This is the two knights defense, and it's a bit more aggressive. Their knight comes out and immediately attacks your pawn on e4. A lot of new players panic right here. Oh no! They see an attack and they think they have to defend. But we're not going to panic. We're not even going to defend. We're going to counterattack. This is where you can bust out a nasty little trick that scores a lot of quick wins against beginners. You play knight to g5. Now, this looks weird. You're moving the same piece twice, and we're told not to do that. But rules are meant to be broken if you've got a great reason. And our reason is a knockout threat. Our knight on g5 and our bishop on c4 are now ganging up on the weak f7 pawn. We are threatening to take it, forking black's queen and rook. This attack, known as the fried liver attack, is terrifying for black to deal with. As a beginner, your opponent often won't know the right way to respond. They'll stumble into traps, lose material, or have their king chased across the board. And even if they play perfectly, you still have a great position. You've taken control of the game and put them on their heels from the start. So, the plan is simple. If they play the quiet bishop to c5, you build a big center with c3 and d4. If they play an aggressive knight to f6, you go for the throat with knight to g5. Okay, theory is great, but let's see how this actually plays out on the board. I'll walk you through a typical beginner game so you can see how the Italian flows from a solid start straight into a winning attack. We start with e4. Black responds e5. We go knight f3, developing the attacking. Black defends with knight c6. And now the signature move, bishop c4. Our Italian setup is on the board. Our opponent chooses knight f6, the two knights defense. They're attacking our e4 pawn. Do we panic? No. We remember the plan. We counterattack with knight g5, aiming for f7. My opponent is a little surprised. They see the threat and correctly play d5 to block our bishop. This is the main response. We play exd5, taking their pawn. Now black's best move is knight a5, but tons of beginners will instinctively recapture with knight xd5. This is a massive mistake. Why? Because they just walked right into the trap. Now we unleash hell. We play knight x f7. sacrificing a knight for a pawn. This looks crazy, but it's completely winning. Black pretty much has to take it with the king, or they lose their queen. So, king x f7. Look at Black's king. It's been dragged out into the middle of the board. It's totally exposed. We keep the attack coming with queen f3 check. Our queen jumps into the fight with check and is also adding a third attacker to the poor knight on d5. Black is already falling apart. Black has to play king e6 to defend the knight. It looks clumsy, because it is. We bring another piece into the party, knight c3. We develop our last knight and pile another attacker onto the pinned knight on d5. The pressure is insane. Now they play knight b4 to defend the knight and attack our c2 pawn. But we simply castle, bringing our king to safety and avoiding any checks by the attacking knight. They make a mistake by taking the undefended c2 pawn, which undefends their knight on d5, and we pounce with bishop x f5 check and are in great position to win the game. The whole attack flowed naturally from a simple 3-move setup. We stuck to the plan, pounced on a couple of common mistakes, and found ourselves in a winning position. That's the power of the Italian game. And that's it. That's the Italian game. The only opening you really need to know to start winning more games as white. Let's do a quick recap. First, the setup is easy. e4, knight f3, and the killer, bishop to c4. This controls the center, gets your pieces out, and puts immediate pressure on black. Second, you have a clear game plan. If they play the quiet bishop to c5, you build a monster center with c3 and d4. If they play an aggressive knight f6, you launch the brutal knight g5 counterattack. And third, this isn't about memorizing moves. It's about understanding the core principles of good chess that will stick with you forever. This is an opening you can play for the rest of your life, from your first game to your 1000th. So stop feeling overwhelmed by all the opening theory. Forget about it. Walk into your next game as white with confidence. Play the Italian, follow the plans, and watch how quickly you can take charge. Now it's your turn. Go try this out in your games, and definitely come back and drop a comment to let us know how it goes. I read all of them, and I want to hear about you crushing it. If this video helped you and gave you a clear game plan, the best way to support the channel is to hit that subscribe button. We have a lot more practical, no-nonsense chess advice coming your way. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.